Last time on Navessah.
Hi, Talman. Sorry to bother you. Do you mind if we have some quick discussions with you? Do you think maybe it might be better for us to take the relic to Gulta as opposed to the Sundering Eclipse?
No, I think the look of thine ship is not what thine needeth worry about. It is the signature of thine engine that will giveth thee away to the Azlanti AI. She winks as she places the fuse in her toolbox and grabs another fuse that she uses to replace the one she just tore out, and she says, "There, now thou art basically flying an Azlanti ship."
Listen, if you got some secondary thing you're trying to pull here, just let us know and maybe we can help.
Very well. It was the plan to simply fill the cargo boxes with refuse.
Gross.
With hopes that it would buy thee enough time to complete thy mission and escape before suspicion was raised too much.
Hey, Yasha's here. Going well? Everything good? Is Cooper gonna kill us, or are we good?
From what I can tell, and from discussing with Talrin, we are both confident that its deterioration should not be a problem as long as your trip to Gulta is short.
Navessah rolls a 26.
Whoa!
Probably the most important thing that you find there is it is standard procedure to use what are known as blood locks. And blood locks require you to have pure Azlanti blood for them to open, even if you have clearance.
They say only one person comes to unload the cargo. I know this is going to be really hard for you, Ukko, but could you act belligerent?
yeah, I can do that. Easy peasy.
But maybe not too belligerent. We don't want too many guards on you.
You guys undock and pull away from Outpost Z, and once you get a safe distance, you engage the drift engine and start heading towards the coordinates of Gulta. You guys are currently traveling through the drift because you are in a hurry and you are gunning your engines. I'll say that you guys get there in the shortest amount of time possible, which will be 3 days.
Woohoo!
What would you guys like to do for those 3 days? Anything specific other than just general preparation stuff and psyching yourselves up?
Can I divvy who's holding what? Of mine.
Yeah, I mean, that's sort of basic preparation stuff. I feel like you guys probably have this all worked out, but if you just want to run through it real quick.
Yeah. So my backpack of essentially Healy goodies and stuff, I was just gonna have Mishka holding. My sword goes to Navessah, and I'm in my armor and I'm trying to hide the knife. And that'll do it. And obviously manacled, sorry.
So yeah, you guys spend the first day of traveling making sure that Navessah looks natural as she is walking around with this blade on her hip.
Big ass blade.
Just making sure that if things go south, you guys have a contingency plan in place so that the equipment can be dispersed to where it needs to be quickly. So we'll say you guys spend some time practicing all of that. Let's get some engineering checks from Mishka and Navessah.
It's a 19 for Mishka.
Well, it's a 13 for Navessah, so...
Alright, so we'll say Navessah, you help Mishka, and between the two of you, you guys are able to make it so that the manacles look like they're fully closed, but you have it rigged with maybe a paper clip or something so that Ukko can just very easily, with just a little bit more than his normal force, break out of them if he wants to.
Yes!
So yeah, you guys get all of that set up. Anything else that you want to do before you guys arrive?
Yeah, Mishka will definitely want to send a message to his family. Cooper, how are you doing?
Yeah, my tempers be shivering, but I be hanging in there. Is there something that I can be helping you with, Pilot Mishka?
Do you think you can help me in sending a message to my family?
Opening a comm.
Thank you. Hi everyone, I hope you are doing well. My friends and I were getting ready to go on a dangerous mission. We're going to try and help a friend out. I believe in the crew. I think we stand a very good chance of doing this relatively easy without problem. Navessah is very smart and very charismatic, and Ukko is very strong, powerful. He can kill pretty much anything, I believe, and I think I do okay for myself, so. But just in case if something happened, I wanted to say that you all mean the world to me. Mama, Papa, you two brought me up, taught me to be strong and take care of myself and my siblings. Aeon, you're growing very strong, and I'm sure you'll be a much better scout than I ever will be. My sister, without your encouragement, I wouldn't be here doing what I love to do, piloting the ship and exploring. You've been a huge inspiration to me. Hopefully I will see you all again sometime soon. I'll try and send some credits from the last job over to you to help out the family and the clan. Anyway, I think we're just about ready to depart, so wish me luck. Hope you all are doing okay. I'll hang up, and he waits like a minute or two, just kind of sitting there silently, and then send it off.
You get a confirmation on your computer, and Cooper's voice says,
Message away.
Thank you, Cooper. And he'll go hang out with the crew.
Before arriving, at least like the day before, like we knew we were going to get there, Navessah's going to use one of the 2 serums of appearance change to make herself look Azlanti and just kind of adjust and practice with it in the mirror a little bit.
So yeah, the changes are fairly subtle, honestly. The tone of your skin gets a bit darker, maybe like 2 shades darker. Your hair stays the same color, but the pattern of it sort of recedes a little bit, leaving you with more of a widow's peak. And your eyes change color to be a bright green. But beyond that, there's very little that has changed about like your bone structure and your actual appearance.
She'll just kind of like look at it in the mirror, left and right, just taking note and satisfied with the change. She'll put the other serum away kind of in a drawer for like after the mission. And probably a less heartfelt sort of message. She'll probably just send in case I do not return in a week, my remaining assets will go to the Cabaret University. Pretty much just making sure all of her affairs are in order.
Okay.
And I was going to say she wanted to at least run her own diagnostic on Cooper, just to see what, if anything, she could do to slow the virus, if not stop it.
Yeah, make a computers check real quick.
A 20.
With that 20, you are able to confirm what everybody else has already checked, which is that there is a virus that is affecting Cooper's core file structure and is basically making it produce copies of this text file that is just a string of endless expletives that continues to propagate and expand and grow. It seems like there are certain trigger words that make the situation worse, but you can't really find a cure for it. It seems like however this thing has been implanted into Cooper, it is very, very, very deep to the point where it is like part of his core functionality, and the only way that you can even think might work would be to like scrub him completely.
Yeah, definitely not anything that I want to do right now. All right, noted. Perhaps we might need the assistance of someone who deals with AI more regularly. Perhaps she'll have better luck when we don't need our ship to potentially get away from a prison.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So then a little while later, as you guys know you would be approaching your destination, Cooper's voice fills the ship and he says,
Approaching this destination. Prepare to disengage thrusters and engage drift engine.
I think as we're kind of coming up and we're all in the helm and stuff like that, I think Mishka's still thinking about the message to his family. Do you guys have any family that you want to talk to? Just realized I haven't really asked any of you about that.
No, I might actually message Groya, though, just so she knows where her locket is, you know. I ain't got anyone else you need to reach out to.
You know what? Mishka will reach into the bag and grab out the locket and just toss it to Ukko. It's like, maybe just keep it on you, for luck.
Yeah, luck hasn't really been on our side the whole time.
I don't know. Maybe it'd be good for you to just keep it on you.
If I'm thinking logically, I'd rather it was just rotting away hidden on this ship than in an Azlanti prison.
I don't know. I think Guraya would probably prefer it to be on you. You know what I'm saying?
Well, all right, you convinced me.
He takes it, like, puts it on, stuffs it into his armor, then takes out his comm unit real quick to go send a message and steps off.
So you don't have anyone that you want to message, Navessah? No one that you're super close to?
To be honest, I've spent most of my life at Kabarat University, so I just made sure that any of my material wealth will kind of go there to further the education of others in the future.
Yeah.
Alright, so as this conversation comes to an end, and Ukko comes back up to the bridge, you guys take your seats, and a few moments later you turn out of the drift and back into the material plane. And up ahead, in the distance, you can see the prison moon of Gulta hanging suspended in space in
I
front
changed
of
my
the
mind.
ship.
Let's go back.
As you make your approach towards Gulta, and the moon grows larger and larger in the ship's viewport, you see a guard ship come gliding towards the Sundering Eclipse on an intercept heading. And you see the relic's transponder begins flashing in the pilot station in the helm. And eventually, the transponder turns green, and the guard ship pulls off and continues patrolling in an orbit around the moon. And so you continue your approach, and you can now see that the prison complex is made up of a series of dull gray domes that are connected by narrow corridors. And you can see that the entire complex spreads out like a spider web across the pale surface of the moon, lit by a distant star. And the entire structure encircles a large series of docking bays with hatches that iris open and shut. And you can see auxiliary landing pads that are suitable only for the smallest of shuttles that are connected to each wing of the prison. And as the Sundering Eclipse makes its approach toward the spindly complex on the moon's surface, you receive a hailing call from the prison.
Alright, here we go. Mishka will send it to Navessah.
All right.
So you answer the hailing call, and an Azlanti soldier fills the main viewport, her face masked by a green helmet with a single red eye in the center, and she doesn't even look up as she says, "Relic, we have you on sensors. Please confirm the reason for your visit."
Yes, this is the Relic. We are here for a scheduled supply drop-off, but we also picked up a prisoner at Outpost Stead that we need to have dropped off as well, non-human.
You see she looks up for a second and then looks off camera and nods and begins typing away on her computer, and then she says, "Very well, an unexpected non-human prisoner. One moment." The monitor goes dark as she puts the line on hold. Then a few moments later, she reappears and she says, "Relic, you are to deliver both the cargo and the prisoner to Bay 6B, docking code 685 Ultra 1. Please confirm."
Confirm.
The transmission ends abruptly, and your transponder information updates to reflect your docking instructions.
All right. Docking instructions to Mishka, and I think Navessah lets out just a short sigh of relief. Well, so far so good.
Ukko's in the cargo bay at this point getting,
Okay. Ooh, all right. Like, I'm a prisoner. I'm belligerent. Ooh.
Red leather, yellow leather.
So, you guys make your way to docking bay 6B, and you pass through the force field that is keeping the atmosphere inside of the docking bay. And as you do so, the Relic's transponder in the Sundering Eclipse's pilot station blips and displays your docking code, and you are able to land without problem.
I guess we'll all be down in the cargo bay, I guess ready to present our delivery as well as our surprise visitor.
Okay, so all three of you are in the cargo bay.
Yeah, and obviously Mishka would have his disguise on as well at this point.
All right, yeah. So Navessah and Mishka are in disguise, and Ukko is quote-unquote manacled. And you are all in the cargo bay of the Sundering Eclipse as the cargo hatch opens, and the landing ramp begins extending out into the prison docking bay itself. You see green accents line the steel walls of the large chamber, and bright fluorescent lights overhead illuminate every corner of the room. You see 5 cargo crates are lined up against one of the walls, but the room is otherwise empty. Let's get some perception checks real quick.
That's a natural 1 for 1 on Ukko. He's really in character. He's keeping his head down. He's belligerent.
Oh, Navessah got a natural 20 for a total of 27.
Hell yeah. Mishka got a 21.
Mishka and Navessah, you notice that there are security cameras hanging from the ceiling in all 4 corners of the room.
Good to know.
The hatch on the far side of the room irises open, and an unhelmeted Azlanti soldier strides through. His dark locks bounce against his cheek with each deliberate step. A short blue cloak hangs over the left shoulder of his bright green armor, and you can see a pistol and attack lash holstered on his hips. He's holding a crowbar. He smiles as he approaches, and he nods at the crates in the ship's cargo bay, and he says,
"You must be the space pizza delivery guys, right?"
Yes.
Yes, we're here to deliver a shipment. And she kind of like pushes Ukko forward a little bit, as well as this lot we picked up on Outpost Z.
Yes, they did mention you were bringing us a new friend, though I will admit I wasn't expecting such a large friend. But no worries, we've dealt with larger.
Ukko will, with his one good eye, look at this guard and just growl.
and he walks brazenly right up to you, Ukko. He gives you a once-over, and then he shrugs, unimpressed, and turns back to Navessah, and he says,
"Oh, well, leave it to the Empire to turn the delivery guys into a prison bus, am I right? What did this mountain of a monster do to get nicked anyways? Break Placaria's boat or something? Nah, he'd be dead if he did that, right? Well, in any case, you made it here with all your limbs attached, so he can't be that bad, I suppose."
With that, Ukko will go for a headbutt. Just lunge at him.
"Okay. Go ahead and make an attack roll, an unarmed attack roll."
Mishka will pretend to try and hold him back.
26 to hit,
Jeez.
13 damage.
Jesus Christ.
At the range of 10 feet, I forgot I'm huge.
Okay.
Is he dead?
He staggers back a bit. Spurt of blood just rockets out of his nose, and he says, Oh, well, all right. I suppose I was wrong about him. And he steps back and wipes the blood from his face and hefts his crowbar and just walks forward and goes to smack you with his crowbar, Ukko, for 8 damage.
Oh.
Okay.
And he says, "Well, enough of that nonsense. Perhaps we should put him back in the ship until we finish the old song and dance here. What do you say?"
We could, but he's a bit of a handful if you haven't already noticed. Would you want us to perhaps help take him into custody first? The cargo's not gonna go anywhere.
"You go keep him over there while I inspect the cargo." And he gestures at the northern wall.
Could I attempt an intimidation to try and have Ukko growl and kind of make a quick move at him? I'll do it again. Think a crowbar will stop me?
Sure, go for it.
Ukko got a 22 on that intimidate to try and
Nice.
bolster the idea that maybe this guy should be processed by these two now.
He takes a step back away from you, and he says, "Yes, I think that would be the best idea. You two go hold him over there near the door while I inspect the cargo, and then we can all take him from there."
Very well.
Oh, shit. Okay.
As he says that, he begins going around Navessah into the Sundering Eclipse, hefting the crowbar.
Ukko's gonna look to Navessah. He's the fuck? What do we do?
I mean, Mishka, you tried to disguise them somewhat, right?
Did we do that roll? Because I know Talmrin says she put, junk in there. Mm-hmm. So Mishka wanted to disguise the cargo so that just in case if they did open it, on the surface, it would look fine.
Make a bluff check.
We could have done that as an engineering thing or something.
This is gonna be a bluff.
Okay. Should have put some points in the bluff. 18.
Okay, so we'll say that you did a pretty good job of making the cargo look pretty good at a glance. You don't know how thorough this guy is going to be, though, as he continues walking into the cargo bay.
Yeah.
And at this point now, he is inside of the cargo bay, wrenching open one of the crates with the crowbar. And with a little bit of effort, he pops the lid off.
Should we stop him? Or just let him do it?
No, just get over to where he said and don't do anything to draw attention. If you did a good enough job covering it, everything will be fine.
As getting pushed and prodded to move by these Azlanti scum, Ukko's just, don't fucking touch me, scumbags! It's like, spit, grr. I'm belligerent.
Mishka will just telepathically say, good job.
Thanks.
So, let's see. You hear him rummaging around, and he is gone for quite a while, like long enough for you guys to be worried, for sure. And you actually hear his muffled voice from, like, deep in the cargo bay. You hear him say, "What the hell?" He comes walking out, and he says,
Oi, where's all the cargo you were supposed to bring?
What? Is it not there? Navessah will step forward a little bit and just, make a play, kind of acting very confused.
all right, make a bluff check.
Navessah rolls a 28.
All right.
Damn.
And I will oppose that with a sense motive. He says, yes, there's no cargo. It's all junk in there.
Well, we caught this one rummaging around in our cargo bay when we stopped at Outpost Z to pick up some additional supplies. And he attacked both of us, and I guess she'll turn back around and just pull out her weapon and just play pistol whip Ukko.
Ow!
And just what did you do? Where are our supplies?
You see a very sour look of disapproval fall on this prison guard's face, and he says, I had a case of space beer in that shipment that I've been waiting for months, you piece of shit. And he pulls his tack lash out and goes to smack Ukko with it.
This is part of the plan, right?
I figured on abuse.
But the whip stops just before your skin, Ukko. You still feel the crack of the whip and the explosion in front of you as it breaks the air. And you still do take a couple points of damage, but it doesn't actually make contact with your skin. So it doesn't do its full damage. But he, in a huff, doesn't even really realize it. And he just marches past you and he says, God damn it, follow me. And he starts heading up to the door that he came through in the north.
That beer was delicious. In common.
I'll just push Ukko, just come on, scum, move along.
You follow him through the irising door and enter into this stark, empty hallway. And you see an airlock door that stands on the opposite wall. And the western end of the hallway wraps around to the north. A female Azlanti soldier notices you as you walk in, and she stands motionless for a moment. You can't see her face beneath her helmet, but you are pretty sure that she's just gawking at Ukko right now. Then the moment passes, and she nods at Navessah and Mishka and the prison guard who's escorting you, and she looks a bit confused at his bloodied face, but doesn't say anything and just continues standing guard next to the airlock door.
Yeah, you thought about being with a dragon kid, huh?
She was not looking at you like that.
That's how Ukko's gonna play it.
Everybody make perception checks, please.
That's a 2 for Ukko. Moving up.
Natural 1 for Navessah for an 8.
Ooh. Natural 20 for Mishka for a total of 32.
All right, Mishka, you see that there are 2 security cameras here. One of them is in the southwest corner, and one of them is in the southeast corner, currently looking at you. All right, so yeah, the guard just continues escorting you guys down the hall. He turns the corner and heads north and passes through a door. The door he walks through irises open with a soft hiss to reveal an oddly shaped room with cold metal walls. Rows of uncomfortable-looking chairs line the western and northern walls. There's a door to the south, which you just passed through, and an imposing steel door to the east. There's a doorway to the north from which you can hear the sound of someone typing on a keyboard. So yeah, the guard passes into the room and gestures for you to go up into the room, and you see a guard sitting behind a heavy metal desk typing away at his computer. And the guard sitting behind the desk notices you as you walk in, and he says, looks like you brought us another toy there. All right, well, upload his paperwork and we'll get you lot set up. And he pushes a data pad towards you with a smile.
Right. There was paperwork we're supposed to fill out? Sorry, we usually only handle deliveries.
Alright, well, that's no problem then. Just fill out what you know, and we'll take it from there. And he nods at the data pad again, and he notices the bloodied guard standing next to you guys, and he just like smirks and he says, "Oi, what happened to you, Io?" And the guard with the bloody nose shoots a snot rocket of blood onto the ground. The big brute here nearly knocked me out of his fucking head, and that's only one of the reasons why I'm gonna have Dio do some extra work on him.
So, Dragonkin scum, what do they call you?
Actually, I'm a Ghost Claw.
Right. And your name?
Just spits on the floor and smirks.
Trash hole. Got it.
Mouth face.
So she'll just kind of putting on a little bit of a show, but not being too lengthy about it, considering Mishka's on the clock here. And then she'll hand it back to the guy behind the desk. It's like, will this suffice?
He grabs it and just sort of like looks it over and shrugs, and he says, I suppose it's the best we can do. We'll get the rest out of him. And then he retrieves 2 badges from a locked drawer, and he slides the badges across the desk, and he points at the northern door. Go ahead through that door there. Turn right, take a left down the long hallway. The lads there will point you in the right direction. Mind you don't go getting lost. It's a prison after all, and we don't take kindly to wandering strangers.
Yes, of course.
You grab the badges and you see that they're guest badges that allow you clearance into certain areas of the prison.
Since this has been a thing, can we get another perception, or at least can Ukko be looking around for these cameras, essentially?
Oh yeah, sure, go for it. So there's definitely one that you already see before you even roll, right above the desk.
Yeah. I got an 8, I'm moving up!
But you don't notice any other cameras other than the one above the desk. So you approach this door, and you see that it is a heavy security door made of solid metal, and there is a hand scanner mounted on the wall next to the door. And the guard who's been escorting you thus far just sort of like steps aside as well to let you pass.
Alright, I think I can use this 3 times a day. She'll use one of her telepathic messages. Oh, well, we've encountered our first bloodlock. Ukko, be a dear and be belligerent again.
As Ukko steps in, he stretches out and then just charges the bloody nose guy.
Are you freeing yourself of your manacles?
Nope. Keeping the manacles. This is belligerent.
Oh, and maybe like I've been helping move him along, but like I let go of Ukko to try and reach for the bloodlock, and that's when he acted up.
Okay.
My whole deception here is that like I'm gonna be so busy handling Ukko, just like, could you buzz me in, please?
Okay. Ukko, go ahead and make your attack roll. Unarmed attack.
Kia!
As you charge into the prison guard who's been escorting you that you've already beaten up a bit.
A 19 to hit for 12 bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
Technically, I could reach everyone in this room at this point with my hands.
This guard is gonna die before we get
The guard gets knocked unconscious and is bleeding profusely in a heap on the ground.
Yeah, I just smashed up against him into the wall, and then I'll roar at Navessah to try and like, here we are.
Mishka will start pulling on his tail.
All right. Navessah, what do you do?
I'm going to draw my static arc pistol and aim it at Ukko. Yeah, telling him just like, stand down, get back in line, you filth. And I'll kind of like go over, keeping a pistol trained on him. Like I'll check the guy who just got knocked out. Do I need to do anything to keep him from dying, or is he just knocked unconscious?
He's unconscious and bleeding. He definitely needs medical attention.
So putting my other hand back on my pistol and still kind of keeping it trained on Ukko, I'll turn to the guy behind the desk and it's just like, could you let me through? I don't want to keep my eyes off this one. He's dangerous.
Okay. Go ahead and make a bluff check.
Navessah rolled an 18.
So he begins moving towards the door, but on his way, he pulls up his comm unit and he says, Oi, Emides, we got a big problem out here. We need your help now.
Trash hole!
Omaniska, get your bots ready as well.
That was bots or botch?
Bots.
Oh no, they have drones!
I told him not to be too rowdy.
He says,
I'll open the lock for you, but let's wait for Emides to get here. This son of a bitch needs as much help as we can get. Oi, you back there, why don't you help?
He yells at you, Mishka.
I'm trying to help. Mishka's gonna jump up and climb on top of Ukko and like essentially like put him in a headlock or like put his arm around his head and pull out the pistol and point it at his head. It's like, hey, calm down.
Ukko, how do you respond?
Yeah, with the 2 pistols on him, Ukko just kind of grunts and glares at everyone, bares his teeth, but puts his manacled hands up and like, all right, yeah.
Okay.
I don't want to die, but fuck you guys.
Navessah, how do you react?
I guess I'll turn to the guy behind us. How much further is the cell block?
It's at the back of the fucking prison.
And as he says that, Mishka, you see the door to the east opens and another Azlanti soldier steps out and sort of takes in the situation and jogs over and he like pulls out an assault rifle and points it at Ukko as well.
I'll turn to him and just be like, it's all right, I got this one. Just make sure the door's open.
All right, so things calm down a bit as it seems like the situation is starting to get back under control. The man behind the desk slaps his hand onto the hand scanner of the door, and the door slides open.
Hurry up and get that son of a bitch back there so we don't have to worry about him anymore.
All right. Are you going to calm down or do I have to stay up here?
Yeah.
Mishka will hop down.
Okay.
Keep his gun trained on Ukko.
All right, you said it was to the right?
Take a right out the door and then down the hallway to the left.
All right. Sorry about your man. You should probably get some medical attention for him.
It's already on the way.
All right, and Chill's just like, come on, Trashful, let's get going.
As I'm squeezing through this door, is there anything I can like kind of fuck up on it from my size?
Do you just like want to break part of it?
Either busted open or something to work with later, maybe.
Sure, make an engineering check first.
Okay. How's that 8?
Yeah, you look for a weak spot on it that might be good to hit, but you don't really see anything. Like, this is a maximum security prison door, right? Like, it is made to stand up to a beating.
I'm belligerent, grr.
Is it an 8 or is it an infinite symbol doing a wheelie?
Oh, there it is.
Also, just a little bit of housekeeping. My telepathic message lasts for 10 minutes.
All right, good to know. Anybody who's in the hallway can make a perception check to look for cameras.
Ooh, Navessah got a 25.
I'm up to 9. Woo!
Another crit for 32.
Oh, damn.
All right, you guys scan the hallway, but you don't see any. However, as you reach the hallway that goes north, you see a pair of security robots patrolling. As they round the corner, they stop and point their guns at Ukko as you guys pass, but they do not fire.
A genuine growl at fucking robots from Ukko. Just fuck.
And yeah, that escort guard does follow up behind you guys and does not stop pointing his gun at Ukko's back.
Psychic message to Mishka.
Watch for cameras. Look for names. You know who we're looking for.
We got you. Don't worry, I got my eyes open.
Grr, I'm angry, grr. Belligerent, grr. Like the slow walk, look over the shoulder, grr, you know.
Yep.
I'm big, I'm tough, grr.
There's no reaction, just a constant rifle muzzle pointed at you.
I'm keeping the character.
As you approach that door, you find another handprint scanner.
No cameras in this one room, right?
No cameras in the hallway.
2 robots way behind us.
You actually see them pass as they continue their patrol.
All right, I will wait for the robots to pass. Keeping my eyes trained on Ukko here, will subtly reach into my pack and clasp one of my charm spell gems.
Uh-huh.
And I'm going to try and charm the guard into opening it for me.
Okay.
Yeah, Sakawain.
So he has to make a will saving throw.
He fails, so he is charmed currently.
Navessah will keep a pistol trained on Ukko, and she'll just calmly just be like, don't worry, I've got him. Could you get the door, please? And I guess now we do a contested charisma.
Yeah, contested charisma.
13.
Yeah, he cranes his neck around and he says, how do you expect me to get up there? Why don't you just open it?
Ukko will be like, it's fine. Come on by. I don't bite.
I think it's a better idea if you open it, ma'am.
We're in a pickle.
I can reach him. I could pull him over, flip him, make a big old scene. You guys might get a little rattled, but I could get him by the door.
I like it.
Okay, Ukko feigns reaching like towards Mishka, but then just keeping the manacles together, so his arms are doing this together. Will grab at the other guy and like throw him towards the door and roar, and then pretend like he's going at Mishka.
Reposition is what you're trying to do, so make an unarmed attack roll, and it's going to be a more difficult check because it's a combat maneuver.
Okay. Oh no!
Oh, no.
Oh no! I got a natural 1 for a 9, but 13 bludgeoning.
Yeah, you tried to grab onto him, but the maneuver between you and Mishka does not go as smoothly as you want. And he takes a step back, you end up tripping over Mishka and landing on him, crushing Mishka for, we'll say, half of that bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
Ow.
So, Mishka, you take 6 damage as Ukko lands on top of you.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
Navessah, what are you doing?
So she'll just step up on him, basically like 1 foot between his shoulder blades and the other one up on like the back of his head, and just like pistol point blank up to his skull. And she's just going to try and intimidate him. Stay down, vermin. And she just looks up to the other guy. What are you waiting for? Go! Get the door now before he gets up again.
All right, so make either an intimidation or a diplomacy for that.
I'm gonna try intimidation. Yeah, just trying to impress that just like, I can't stop what I'm doing. I'm protecting my guy. And Navessah rolls a 28.
All right. He like pauses for a second, and then you see him like sigh with resignation as he clambers awkwardly over everybody.
Ukko will wing a bit just to get in the way of shit.
He like kicks you on his way by, actually, Ukko.
Ow!
You take another 2 bludgeoning damage from the kick as he goes by, and he places his hand on the door and it slides open. As you guys are getting up, you see those security robots now coming back around the hall, walking directly towards you.
We did it. 2 doors, guys. We're doing it.
And she'll just like to Mishka, you've got him.
Yes. We're good.
And she'll like step off Ukko and just give him a little kick, making a show but not actively trying to hurt him. She's like, get up, you big lug. Come on.
Stay down, get up, what do you want me to do?
Making a show of, I'm getting up, but laying on Mishka longer.
And going along with your show and like trying to ingratiate myself to our escort, she says, try anything like that again and I won't hesitate to pull the trigger.
Yes, that's enough trouble out of you.
Navessah like momentarily like stops like her showboatiness here and just kind of like stare like blankly at Mishka. It's just like, what was that?
Mishka's not an actor, okay?
And then she turns to the guard and just like, could you please just lead the way?
Your escort waits for you guys to stand up and collect yourselves. And he actually waits for the security robots to catch up now as well. And he continues walking up to the north. The hallway connects to a hub room with 4 other hallways leading off in various directions. 3 male guards block your way as you enter the room, and they see your escort, and then they see the 3 of you enter, followed by the security robots, and they just kind of move out of the way to let your escort by, and he continues up to this door here.
Ukko's gonna take a look around this room as well for any, like, names of hallways or doors kind of thing, and cameras.
The doors in this area are not labeled.
Okay. Cameras? Should I roll for that, or?
Yeah, everybody make perception checks for cameras.
A natural 20 for 20! Woo!
Wow!
Good job.
Dang.
Navessah rolled a 9.
16.
Ukko, you managed to see that the cell block hub here contains 4 security cameras, 1 hanging over each of the hallways that lead to the doors.
Got it.
Hey, Peter's in here. Maybe this is something we could use.
As you guys are passing through this room, you hear him speaking like into a comm unit on his wrist, and he says,
Alania, Amidy's here. Just letting you know we have a big one coming in. Tell Gio to get that stick of his ready.
and he then leads you to this door in the northwest, opens it, and leads you through. This chamber is partitioned by walls that reach about halfway toward the high domed ceiling. A windowed room to the east is raised enough to look over the walls and view the entire chamber, and you can see a female Azlanti guard standing there watching as you guys pass through this hallway. You also see another man at the end of the hallway standing beyond a pair of barred metal doors, and he is holding what looks like a cattle prod that is crackling with electricity.
Oh boy.
And your escort walks up to the door and beckons for you all to enter the chamber fully. And as you all enter, the door slides shut behind you. And the woman in the raised control room above, you see her push some buttons and a loud buzzer sounds throughout the room, and the double barred metal doors swing open as well. And your escort walks into the room, and the guy with the cattle prod waves you all in, gesturing with the cattle prod. As you guys enter the main part of this chamber, let's get some perception checks.
Yay!
Boy.
Ukko got 16.
Navessah rolled a 20.
Mishka got a 14.
Navessah, you notice a security camera above some cells to the north, which the guy with the cattle prod gestures toward, and he says,
Alright, come on. If we can make Grub fit, we can make you fit.
And he gestures toward those 3 cells that line the northern wall of the dome. And you can see that these cells look like large glass cylinders crackling with energy. But you know that they're probably transparent metal, not glass. Also, they are definitely meant for human-sized creatures, which is made extra apparent as you look into the first cell. Because as you look inside the cell, you see a large caterpillar-like creature with leaf-shaped tendrils protruding from its back. And it's stuffed so tightly inside of that cell that those tendrils, the leaf-shaped tendrils, are pressed flat against the clear wall of the cell. And you can see the electric energy courses over the cell and over the creature, and it writhes uncomfortably as it tries to escape that electric energy, but it's unable to move at all.
Can we identify what species that is?
If you want to make a life science check to try, go for it.
Do I need to be trained in life science?
Yes, you do.
Okay, I have no idea what the hell that is.
I'm trained in this. 15.
You have no idea. You've never seen anything like this, but you can tell by its physiology. It's definitely an herbivore, and it seems pretty malnourished and not well cared for at this point.
Oh.
I will turn to my charmed friend here, and it would just kind of open disgust and disdain. I'm just like, ew, what is that?
Ah, we call that one Grub.
It's hideous.
Indeed. However, I find the weird crab thing that we have over with the human-sized creatures to be even more disgusting, personally.
And he sort of gestures at this door to the south here. The creature in the second cell is also far too big for the cage. It's a large, demonic-looking lizard creature with red skin, spines, and horns, and it's seething in a hunkered position. And as you get escorted by, it lunges at the side of the cage, aggressively trying to get at you, but the action is sort of neutered by its small confines. Go ahead and make life science or culture checks for this one.
Oh, culture, I can do that. A natural 20 again for 26 for Ukko! Woo!
Oh, nice. I got a 21.
Navessah rolled an 18.
Navessah, make a life science check as well.
Oh, sure. She also rolled an 18 on the life science.
Okay. Ukko and Mishka, you've probably encountered some of these. They're not super rare, but this version of it is pretty rare. So this creature is called an Ikeshti, which is a lizard-like race that, like I said, they're fairly common. However, this one in particular is called an Ikeshti Rivener. And the way that it got like this, typically Ikeshti are pretty mild-mannered until they go into heat, and then they become very violent to the point where either the mother or the father ends up killing the other one, and only one survives. That is how they complete their mating ritual, but this one never found a mate, so it just became more and more violent and lost more and more of its personality as it continued to rut, is what they call it. And so this one has been rutting for so long that it is now fallen into a permanent mindless blood frenzy, completely devoid of personality or anything, just pure rage and destruction. Go ahead and roll sense motive checks all three of you can roll the sense motive checks.
Ukko got a 16.
21 from Mishka.
28 from Navessah.
All right, Navessah and Mishka, you notice that its eyes seem to be darting around, looking at everybody in the room, except for the non-humans. It seems to completely ignore the non-humans, only interested in the Azlanti.
So at this point, technically just Ukko and the worm.
And the robots.
Oh, and the robots, yeah.
On the far western wall, you notice another secluded section of the chamber, and inside you can see a bloody torture table with multiple thin robotic arms protruding from the sides. And as you approach this empty cell at the western edge here, the Azlanti guard who has the cattle prod motions to the woman up in the control room, and she pushes some buttons, and lines of light appear in the side of the clear cylinder in the shape of a door, and then a loud humming emits from the cell, and that door slides down into the floor, and the guard with the cattle prod points into the cell and he says,
Welcome to your new home.
Ukko growls at the guy and then looks back at Navessah and Mishka.
Navessah's still gonna keep trying to ride this charm spell, and while like all this is happening, I think I would like to suggest to my charmed friend, the security robots really aren't necessary anymore, are they? You should just send them back.
We're gonna have to do contested charisma.
I figured as much. Oh no! Navessah rolled an 8. Hopefully he rolls worse.
He does not roll worse. He says,
Are you kidding? How many times have you lost control of this thing since you arrived here? And I saw what it did to Iovinus. No, if anything, we need more robots. In fact, that's not a bad idea.
Oh no.
All the while, Ukko's making a show of getting in nice and slow, and
Hold on, if we're going this way, I can...
and the guy with the cattle prod zaps you with it, Ukko, for 4 damage.
Ow!
Looks like we're gonna have to shave down those horns so you can get in there a bit faster, eh?
You're not very accommodating.
And luckily, now that he sees that Ukko is finally getting into his cell, the charmed guy who is about to call for more robots decides against it and just keeps pointing his weapon at Ukko.
So I'll, I guess, turn to the charmed one again. You say there are some other strange creatures in the other room. Can you show me?
All right, another opposed charisma.
Come on, charisma. You were the chosen one.
Hey!
Nice.
Ooh, natural 20 for a 23.
I suppose there's no harm in it if you really want to. I'll have Alenia open the door for us after we lock this one away.
Well, good luck, Ukko.
Mishka, are you doing anything?
Yeah, message Ukko is like, this might be the end of our ruse. We can try to put him in the cell instead.
Hold on.
So Ukko is slowly getting into the cell, and he takes a look around, and he's realizing, shit, this is it. If I get in here, I'm fucking stuck. So he quickly turns and just breaks the manacles apart when his blade appears in his hand as he charges the nearest guard. Just 22 to hit for 12 slashing damage.
That definitely connects as you catch him off guard and give him a good slash, chopping through a good chunk of his armor and feeling the squishy flesh underneath.
Come on, come at me!
Navessah is going to keep this charmed person riding. Stand down. There's no need for you to get involved.
Okay, that's definitely a charisma check.
Oh, yeah, obviously.
Come on, charisma!
14, that's not terrible.
He rolled a 13. So he, looks at you for a second and looks back at Ukko
But ma'am,
It's not necessary.
I suppose you're right.
So yeah, he just takes a step back and lowers his weapon. You see the woman up in the control room, and she sees you produce a weapon, Ukko. In a fluster of fear and alarm, she runs and smashes a button on the wall, and a klaxon starts sounding throughout the entire prison, and the lights go dim and start flashing red. Then you see the door of the control room open, and she leans out, and you can see that she's holding a pistol, but she does not fire this turn. However, the one that you just slashed does react to you, and he drops the cattle prod and he takes the tack lash off of his hip. and swings it at you twice, Ukko. But luckily, you are still wearing your armor.
Yeah.
And it just hits your brand new Golem Forge plating and sort of clinks off it without any damage to you.
Woo! Okay.
The door to the south slides open, and you see another Azlanti prison guard there, and he sticks his head through the door and produces a pistol and shoots at you with it, Ukko, hitting you for 3 electric damage.
Okay, I'm almost at half stamina points, guys.
And he sees the charmed guy standing there, and he says, "Oi, Emmy, what are you doing?"
Mishka's gonna run behind cover over here and pretend to shoot at Ukko and instead shoot this guy.
You're saying you're doing some sort of trick attack?
Yes, I guess you could say that, huh? 33 on the trick attack.
That succeeds.
I whiffed the shot though.
I need you to make a bluff check as well.
You're good at those, right?
I'm not terrible at it.
22, that succeeds, but in your performance, you overcorrect and you end up missing both Ukko and your actual target. Ukko, what do you do?
Oh, I'm gonna finish this guy. Cattle prod bastard. Kia! 13 to hit for 20 damage.
Ooh, that meets his AC.
Yeah!
And you chop him down. He lets out a gurgling death cry as he falls to the ground, and your green Azlanti blade drips in his red Azlanti blood.
Okay, can I technically fly into that room?
Yeah, so to reiterate, this room is a 30-foot tall dome that's separated by these partitioning walls, but those partitioning walls don't reach all the way up to the ceiling. They only go about halfway up, so they're about 15 feet tall. So with your speed and your flying speed, you would be able to get to the top of the wall, but not completely over it.
I get ya. It's 15 feet up, so I couldn't reach him with my blade, but I could be on the wall.
Right, so I guess you could hang off of the side of the wall, or I guess you could straddle it if you wanted to.
Straddling. Yeah, Ukko will go atop the wall and just be making a manic scene of it all. Like trying to get to the other side, obviously.
Okay.
Navessah will call out, "He's got a weapon! Let me by, I'll cover the other side." Does this guy let me by?
Yeah.
How nice of him.
Okay.
He's a good guy, that one.
That one we can just knock out.
We'll take him with us.
I mean, everybody is only concerned about Ukko at this point.
Woohoo!
What do I see in this other room?
So this is basically a mirror image of the other half of the room, and you see 3 more cells lining the southern wall, each one occupied by a creature lying in a heap on the cell floor.
I'm going to downgrade my standard action to move action, and I'm at least going to make a play of like, "You won't get away from me, scum," but I'm going to psychically gesture to Ukko to get him on the guy at the door.
Okay. The charmed guy just sort of watches Ukko climb, and once again, the other guard is like, "Emmy, do something, shoot him!" And he like sort of shakes his head. He's like, "Oh, right." And yeah, he takes a shot at you, Ukko.
We're not friends anymore!
Hitting you for 6 damage as he just opens fire on your back as you are straddling, climbing the wall.
Oh!
And the woman up in the control room climbs down a ladder so she can get a better angle on you, Ukko, and she also starts firing at you with her own pistol, critting you for 5 damage. Now the security robots, like, there was a little bit of a delay or something, I guess, because I forgot to roll initiative for them. Now they receive a command or something, and they begin moving more aggressively towards you. One of them raises an arm cannon at you, and the end of it crackles with electric energy, and it fires at you, hitting you for 7 damage.
Owie!
And the other one also raises its arm cannon at you, and this one fires 2 electrical blasts at you. The first one hits for 8 damage, and the second one misses.
Stamina's gone, boys! The stamina's gone!
The one below you in the doorway steps further out to get a better angle and pulls his own pistol out and starts firing at your butt, Ukko. His pistol shot hits you for 4 electric damage.
Alright.
Would I be able to take cover behind this wall, like over here?
Yeah, you can crouch back down there.
Okay, so I'm gonna basically the same thing as last turn. I'm gonna try and pretend to shoot at Ukko and shoot someone else.
Okay.
So I'll just shoot the bot in front of me. Another trick attack.
And bluff, please.
I'll do the bluff first. 15.
Okay.
And then 29 on the trick attack.
So that trick attack succeeds.
Sick nasty. And tactical semi-auto pistol shot. 26 to hit for 12 piercing total.
Yeah, you land a nice shot on the back of this security robot. These things are built to take a bit of a beating, but you can tell that it made some good contact.
Sick.
However, you also see the woman who climbed down from the control room. She noticed your attack, and she seems like she's wise to what you just did.
Yeah, maybe she's like, oh, sorry, didn't mean to do that.
I don't usually shoot. I'm just a crew guy.
But I guess it is under the debilitating trick effect now.
Okay.
So it is, I'll say off target, since Ukko's looking pretty beat up.
I am.
That way it has a less chance of hitting him.
All right. What's a good off target? How about this bleeding eyeball?
Yeah,
Sure.
that works. All right, and I'll fly over, and as I'm coming down, bring the blade down onto this robot. Yeah.
All right.
Damn it, natural one for a 10.
Your battery pack discharge. Oh, wait.
Wait, what?
We had a critical miss submission, but that one was for a gun, so we can't do that one for this.
Yes.
So you take a swing, but its armor is harder than you were expecting, so as the sword blade makes contact, it like rings in your hand and causes you to drop the sword, and it clatters to the ground at your feet.
All right.
All right. I will take note of the prisoners in the room and go to rejoin the fray, in air quotes, in the other room. And I will point my gun at Ukko. And seeing as he is beat up as all hell, I'm going to psychically give him an inspiring boost to recover 11 stamina points.
Oh,
Nice.
thank you.
So you'll just hear like a reassuring Navessah voice in the back of your mind. Hang in there, Ukko.
The charmed guy runs forward with his rifle
And gives Ukko a big dang kiss.
and gives Ukko a big dang shoot.
No!
It's the opposite of what I said.
But you see him raise his rifle and you duck out of the way and his shot just barely whizzes over your head, Ukko. Meanwhile, the female guard who came down from the control room pulls out her tack lash and goes to whip you with it, Ukko. But this one also clanks off of your new Golem Forged plating.
Thank God for that.
The robot furthest from you, the one that is off target, goes to attack you. It lets loose 2 bolts of electricity from its arm cannon, Ukko, and both of them hit you squarely in the back for a total of 16 damage.
Damn, that's a lot.
Good thing I had that stamina.
I said off target, not on target.
Damn it.
The one closest to you, Ukko, just raises up both of its robotic arms and just goes to slam you with them. The first one whiffs, but then the second one follows up, hitting you squarely in like the side of the neck for 8 damage.
Ooh. All right, not looking hot.
The guard who is get-emmed turns to continue attacking you with his pistol, missing you as the electric bolt just whizzes by you.
We're in a tight spot, y'all. Not sure if you've noticed.
We went from one tight spot to another.
Yeah.
But the ruse is still there-ish.
Well, the thing is I'm not sure if I'm still gonna be in this guy. All right, I'm gonna do the same thing. I will trick attack and try and aim at this robot instead. The one next to Ukko.
Okay.
Bluff. 17.
All right. The woman who came down from the control room definitely saw the last one, but this one seems like you were a little bit more subtle about it. No one else seems to notice this.
All right. Natural crit on the trick attack. 21 to hit from the pistol.
That connects.
All right. I don't think the trick attack crits.
It does not, but since you did roll a crit, I'll let you take the 8 instead of the 1.
Yay.
Mercy.
Thank you, Mr. GM.
So that's a total of 12 damage on this one.
12 piercing on the robot, yeah.
All right.
And I'll make him this time be flat-footed.
All right, Ukko.
Okay, just gonna literally burn everyone else.
Okay.
30-foot cone, DC 15 reflex save. If they fail, they take 9 damage. If they succeed, they take half, so 4.
17, baby. And I have evasion, so I take no damage.
Whew.
Must be nice.
Sorry, Navessah, I'm selling it.
Navessah rolls a 19.
Okay,
Nice.
so you take 4 damage. All right, so you let loose this flame breath, and it just engulfs basically everybody in the room except for the woman behind you. And the robot closest to you does not take too much damage, nor does the soldier behind that robot, the one that was charmed. But this robot here is sort of to the southwest, and this guard next to Navessah both are quite toasty when the fire subsides, and you actually see the guard like patting out a flame on his cape that's hanging over his armor. And yeah, that robot, its white exterior is now singed black with this dark soot.
And now I'm gonna risk it for the biscuit and try to haul ass up there.
Up the ladder? Okay. The robot closest to you, as you are running away, he slams you for 13 damage,
Oh, fuck! Okay.
bringing you down to 1 hit point. Again.
This chick needs to miss, that's all. Just
And
miss.
yep, the woman, she attacks you with her tacklash as you start climbing the ladder.
And misses horribly.
I certainly hope so. Ukko, I know the answer to this, but what is your KAC?
16?
You wanna know what she rolled?
15?
She rolled a 15. And she also rolled max damage.
Oh my god! And Ukko is in the room and just like, step over this ladder, I fucking dare you.
Not gonna lie, I kind of wanted you to be a piece of shit and say she rolled a 16 or something.
You managed to just get up to the top of the ladder, squeeze through the door, and like fall to the ground.
Oh, can I close it?
It is a blood lock.
Of course it is. Alright, I'll fall to the ground. Do I still have swift action?
Sure.
Blade is in my hand.
Okay.
And I'm just laying on the ground like, fuck that! Trying to just take cover, get low.
Navessah, what are you doing?
Still shielding herself from the fiery blast. I'm gonna chase after my prisoner. So I guess I move action and then turn my standard action into another move action and begin climbing up the ladder.
So you could get to the top of the ladder if you wanted to, if you double move.
Yeah, I am hanging out at the top. I'm creating a buffer.
My hero!
Basically, I'm gonna do that thing like where I get up to like the top rung and then like still one hand on the ladder, pull out my pistol, like, all right, I'm getting ready to go in. Who's covering?
Gotcha.
Cover me.
The charmed guard runs across the room to try to get an angle on you, Ukko, and opens fire. So you definitely have improved cover, but since you didn't make it all the way into the room, and I can still see part of your token sticking through the door.
Do I provide any additional cover?
I mean, and he is charmed, so I'll give a little bit more of a bonus.
He don't want to hurt me. I'm his friend.
Exactly.
You hear how desperate we are?
Yes, I very much do.
I believe it's called the bargaining phase.
Oh boy, oh boy.
This is really good for us. That's why he's laughing.
So he rolled a natural 20.
Oh my goodness.
So as you are like falling into this room, like scrambling back, Ukko, trying to get as deep into this room as possible, a bullet ricochets off of the door frame and just catches
He went
you.
full dead shot.
This is definitely an unintentional hit. There's just bullets spraying at the doorway, and one of them ricochets off of the frame and just like catches you right in the jugular. And you just go down and start bleeding out. And the female guard starts climbing up the ladder behind you, Navessah, like, all right, come on, let's go. Get up there!
They don't know I'm dead or down. They don't know that.
And the robots start moving towards the ladder, but not sure if they can climb ladders, so they just kind of hang out down there.
Excellent. That's what I like to hear.
And yeah, the other guards start like just forming up and all training their weapons on the doorway.
All right. Well, they're all looking up over there. So I'm going to use this opportunity to stealth and try and sneak into this room over here.
Okay, make a stealth check.
Hell yeah, 27 stealth.
So you see the camera, start pivoting back towards you, but you're able to skirt around the outside of its vision range and sneak through the door just before it passes. So you're able to sneak through into the adjoining room without being spotted.
Would I be able to shut the door behind me?
This is a blood lock, so you cannot control it at all.
All right. I'll say I take cover back here.
Okay. Ukko, you can use a stamina point to stabilize.
No, I'm gonna use my recovery Aegis.
Hey,
That's a one-time use.
I know it is.
Okay.
I'm gonna use it to stabilize without a resolve point, and then spend one to stay in the fight in the same round.
Okay, so you fall to the ground unconscious
Bullet to the jugular.
as that bullet to the jugular just like takes the last bit out of you, and you are lying on the ground with purple blood flowing out of your neck, and you begin to feel this warmth emanating underneath your armor, and you realize that it's coming from that pendant that Garaya gave you. That warmth spreads from your chest through your body into your fingertips and your toes, and you feel this wave of warmth and like comfort come over you, and then the shock of all of the pain that you just felt rushes back over you, and you like start with like a back to consciousness.
I'm at 1 hit point.
1 hit point.
Okay.
aren't you glad I convinced you to keep it?
Okay. Ukko will make a quick show, like bang the door, don't come in here kind of crap.
Okay.
And I'm gonna quickly move to the computer, and because I can read, I just want to see, like, open cell this, and like just like all of them, especially starting with Angry Red Thing.
Okay.
Good luck, friends.
So everything is clearly labeled in Azlanti on this control panel, and you just hit the button that says release all cells, and you hear a buzz ring through the entire cell block. And a moment later, you see those lines of light form the door on the side of the cells, and the side of the cell starts sliding down to open up. And as they start sliding, you see that red demonic lizard creature in the middle cell start thrashing, trying to make its way through the door as it's slowly opening. And just as it gets big enough for the creature to squeeze through, it does just that, and it lunges out of its cell and over the short wall in front of it, and you see the Azlanti guard closest to him turn in surprise, but he's way too slow as the creature is already on top of him, and just picks him up off of his feet and grabs him like around his shoulders, pinning his arms to his side, and lifts him up and turns him sideways like 45 degrees like a taco, and just bites down into him. And he lets out a shriek of pain, and you see that he's like struggling to get away, but it is short-lived as the red demonic lizard creature just makes a tearing motion and rips the guy's throat out, and a splatter of blood just sprays across the entire room, staining the walls and the white metal of the security robots next to him red with blood. And the creature drops the corpse of the Azlanti guard to the ground and lets out a wild howl of delight and rage, and sets his eyes on the charmed guard that is nearby.
Mission accomplished.
So this guy is just gonna go on your turn, Ukko. You don't get to control him, but that lizard is gonna move when you move, just like that.
Friend.
Ukko, I also would like you to make either a computer's check or a perception check.
Perception it is. Ukko got a 12 on perception.
Okay. You are too woozy to look at that console any further and you sort of just like collapse a bit after opening all the cells and seeing that guy get torn apart. You sort of take that as a sign that you have a minute to catch your breath, so you turn away from the monitor.
All right, Navessah is going to continue climbing up this ladder to chase after the prisoner.
Yeah, you climb up the ladder, pull yourself into the room, and you see Ukko bloodied, taking a knee near the console, and a smear of purple blood is on the console near the button that says release all cells.
In Azlanti, she's going to basically yell at Ukko. It's just like, surrender, vermin, you've got nowhere left to run. But then she's going to send telepathic message to Ukko saying, Ukko, take me as your prisoner. I have 3 healing serums in my left pouch.
All right.
Smart.
So the charmed guard turns his attention towards the red horny lizard that just devoured his companion and just begins opening fire wildly on the creature. He just lets loose a barrage of bullets. Some of them hit the creature, a lot of them miss, but the creature stays up, even though now it does have multiple bullet holes in it, but it does not seem to even notice, really. It is in a intense blood rage now, especially now that it has tasted blood. The female guard at the bottom of the ladder, she yells up into the control room to you, Navessah, and in Azlanti she says, "Turn on the debilitator! Use the console! Turn on the debilitator!" And then she just turns and runs toward the lizard creature, and also pulls out her own pistol from her holster on her hip and opens fire, hitting the creature squarely in the chest. And as you see the electric blast come out of her gun and splash across the creature's chest, it lets out a howl of pain, but it again does not seem like it is shaken too much by the damage, even though she did roll a crit for max damage.
Stay strong, Red Lizard.
And you see the security robot near the back of the room raise that like Mega Man blaster that it has towards the lizard creature and let loose a couple arcs of electricity as well. Both of those shots miss as the creature now starts turning to charge at the charmed guard, but not before the other security robot also lets loose another round of attacks. This one also lets loose 2 shots. The first one misses, but the second one finds its mark, and the lizard creature like stumbles back a little bit in its charge, but not enough to make it stop completely. It just gets slowed down for a moment.
Okay. I will hop over the wall here and make my way towards the 3 domes where I see the other figures.
You jump over the desk and slide across it like a cool action hero. As you come on the other side of it, you see 3 cells that line the southern wall, each one occupied by a creature lying in a heap on the cell floor. The westernmost cell contains a Shirin who has an iridescent blue carapace. They're huddled against the back of their cell, covering their face. You notice that they're missing a foot and multiple vestigial arms. The middle cell contains a human-sized crab creature. It lies motionless on the floor of the cell, and its outer shell is dried and cracked in many places. You can see that it's shuddering slightly as it takes shallow, raspy breaths. And the eastern cell contains a female Vesk. You can tell that she's severely malnourished because you can see the ridges of her ribs as she takes slow, painful breaths, and you can see that her scales are pallid and flaking off in multiple places.
Mishka approaches the middle one. Hello, are you Tamal?
It raises its head very slightly and slowly as you attempt to say its name, and it sees you in your Azlanti disguise and just puts his head back down slowly.
Forgive me, this is a disguise. I am not Azlanti. I am a friend of Talmarin. I'm here to get you out.
As you mentioned Talmarin, it raises its head again, this time a little bit quicker, and then you see its like little eyes on its eye stalks squint at you a little bit, and then it just curls up even tighter and puts its head back down.
Please, she has regrets about not being here with you. She sent us here to help, so please, if you want to get out, you can come with me.
A very weak whisper comes out from within the creature's shell. Leave me to die.
Then I will hop into the dome and I will use my advanced med kit on them.
Okay, make a medicine check.
Alrighty, medicine check. Let's go. Fuck. That's a 17.
With that 17, I'll say that you're not able to do anything immediately to heal it, but you are able to at least diagnose the biggest problem. And that is that this creature is obviously amphibious and it is extremely dehydrated.
Gotcha.
Ukko will launch himself up from his knee position and pull his blade out big and wide to swing it up, potentially to cut and destroy the camera in this room.
All right, yeah, make an attack roll with your sword.
That's a 18 to hit for 11. Whoa, that's the lowest damage. 11 damage.
Yep. You give it a good smack. This thing is made pretty sturdily. You definitely leave a sizable dent in the side of it, but it is still functional.
I should have gone full attack.
You still can.
Oh, I can.
Just roll it again.
16 on the attack for 15 points of damage on that.
With this second hit, you come back around on it and you just sever it right where it's connected to the wall, and it just clatters to the ground.
And with that, Ukko then just slumps over a bit and just nods at Navessah.
The
Lizard fucker.
Yep, lizard fucker just barrels through the security robots, pushing them aside, and charges directly at the charmed guard, grabbing him, lifting him into the air, and you hear like this nasty crunch as the guard's arm is ripped out of its socket, and he lets out a cry of pain as the creature just continues thrashing him. So they are currently entangled, and it looks like the charmed guy is doing very poorly.
Couple of quick questions. Question number 1, can I tell if the camera on the north side of the dome can still see me and Ukko, or are we more or less kind of obscured?
You're mostly obscured, like majority of the room is not visible to it.
Okay. And question number 2, does my get 'em work for red horny lizard man?
It does not.
Oh, well, I guess in that case, I'm going to at least kind of make a show of aggressively going towards Ukko as if I were to fight him for what little the camera could see. But really, I'm just reaching into my pouch and pulling out a healing serum and trying to tend to Ukko's wounds without blowing my cover.
Okay.
Stick me, mommy.
Let's do a sleight of hand.
Navessah rolled a 22.
All right, yeah, no problem. Go ahead and roll that healing serum.
All right, big money, no whammies. 3 hit points back, Ukko.
Woo!
So yeah, Navessah, you very slyly pull a healing serum out of your pack and just stab Ukko with it, injecting him with the healing.
So I know it's like technically my action to administer that. Just to kind of like sell the charge, could I have just like fired off a round from my gun, just not aiming at anything? Basically, I'm just asking to waste a shot from my ammunition just to kind of like sell the struggle.
Yeah.
But if the action economy does not support that,
I'll say you can swift action, just like pull the trigger of your gun since you're already holding it.
Gotcha.
Natural 1, ricochets, hits Ukko again.
It's Ukko for 4 damage.
Son of a bitch.
Oh no!
So none of you guys really have line of sight on what's going on out there, but you can definitely hear the sound of combat, like metal hitting flesh, followed by short electrical pulses, like you hear the sound of footsteps, followed by the sound of a whip crack, and like large footsteps, like heavy footsteps running, and the sound of metal clanging and hitting the ground. And all the while you've been hearing the sound of the lizard fucker devouring the Azlanti guard. Which brings us back to Mishka.
I will move to the side over here. And can I see the cameras?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna try and shoot the one that is looking my direction.
Okay, make an attack roll.
That's a 15?
So the way that like breaking inanimate objects works is there's no AC, but they do have a hardness, which is what you need to beat. You need to do enough damage to get past the hardness, and then anything that gets past the hardness goes towards the object's HP.
Okay.
So with 6 damage, you hit like the base of the camera where it's attached to the wall, and it just ricochets off of it without doing any significant damage to it.
I was saying that and just Mishka goes, shit. All right, and he'll turn to this dome over here and I was like, hello, friend. Are you alright?
So you approach this cell and you see that Sheeran with the iridescent blue carapace huddled against the back of their cell. And as you approach and ask them if they're okay, she looks up at you and she takes in your Azlanti appearance and pushes herself back further against the cell.
Please, I am not Azlanti. I am friend of Talmrin's. I am here to get you out.
As you mentioned Talmrin, she looks up more confused than anything, and you hear a voice in your mind very weakly as it says, Talmrin? Really?
Yes.
She's alive?
Yes.
And she didn't betray us?
No. We met her on Outpost Z. We were here to do a job and rescue one of our friends, and she asked us to look after you as well.
Her demeanor changes, her shoulders relax a little bit, and as they do so, you can see the bloody stumps of her vestigial arms that have been removed, and she very weakly tries to get to her feet, but before she even gets 1 foot underneath her, she just collapses back down to the floor of her cell.
I'll go in and help her up to at least get her out of the cell for now.
Okay. You throw her arm over your shoulder and pull her out of the cell.
I'll just put her in the corner over here or something.
Okay. You just set her down gently.
Is sending a message to Ukko, is that an action?
No, that's just talking.
Alright, I'll send him a message and I'll say, I found Talmud's friends. They're not at 100% shape. They have been tortured and injured and malnourished. I'm gonna try my best to get them out, but I might need some help.
On it.
Ukko just stands up and does a big old shout and clangs the blade a little bit.
You're dead now, Navessah, but maybe you can try and do something with the console here. But Azlanti scum!
He just sort of shouts as he's banging his blade a little bit.
You're trying to convince the ones downstairs that she's dead?
Yeah, basically, yeah. Navessah's dead currently, just to buy time.
Make a bluff check.
Okay. Ukko got a 9.
All right. Luckily, there is a lot happening downstairs, so whether or not they were paying attention to you, who knows?
Now that I'm not a prisoner, I'd like to activate my brown force field on my armor. Beep, boop, boop.
I will remind you, I did let you know which pouch I am keeping healing serums in.
So I'll say you can use your move action if you want to take one of the healing serums from Navessah, but you won't be able to use it this round.
Then I want to take the satchel that has them.
Oh, you're taking the whole satchel?
Yeah, wherever the two are, Ukko's taking them.
Navessah, are you allowing him to take the whole satchel, or...
She looks confused, and then she just rolls her eyes and relinquishes the pouch.
Meanwhile, downstairs, the charmed guard is torn to pieces by that red lizard. And he turns and sets his sights on the last remaining actual Azlanti in the room, which brings us to Navessah.
She's going to try and move basically over to the other side of Ukko and get to the computer. She was going to heal Ukko, but he took the whole bag of the healing items, so instead she's going to focus her attention on the computer systems to see what, if anything else, she can control from here.
So you look at the control panel, and next to the purple blood smear that Ukko left behind when he opened all cells, you see individual buttons for each cell. You see remote controls for a torture device on the western end of the room. You see a large red button that says prison-wide alert that's normally in a plastic casing, but that plastic casing has been opened and the button is depressed and that alarm is going off. And you also see another smaller red button that is labeled debilitator array.
Okay, well, she would at least like to try pressing the prison-wide alarm button with the hopes that it will undepress.
Yeah, you press it and the alarm stops, but the effects of the alarm stopping you don't know.
Oh, yeah. But at least hoping someone will think it's a false alarm, or probably not, but I guess I will just stealth and call it a day. But Navessah rolled a 9.
Yay, look at us.
Well, I mean, like I said, luckily there is a lot happening downstairs, so There's plenty of distractions to help boost that stealth.
All right, well, that is it for Navessah.
All right. As the red lizard creature tears the charmed guard apart, the female guard who came down the ladder, she turns and just starts sprinting away in fear. The security robots continue trying to subdue this escaped prisoner by beating it.
And so you hear the sound of combat once again, and you actually see one of the robot's torsos fly across the window that you guys are standing next to, Ukko and Navessah.
Yeah! Go, Red Lizard.
And you also hear the sound of metal hitting flesh once again, and you kind of crane your neck around to get a better view. And you can see the lizard downstairs is starting to look a little worse for wear, starting to realize that it's in a bad physical state, especially now that most of the humans are gone. But it is clearly still unhappy and still looking for a fight.
Ooh, buddy. I'll wait to see if the cameras moved.
They did not move.
Okay. I will try to shoot it once more to see if I can do anything.
The camera near you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So 5 damage?
This time it doesn't even hit, it just like hits the wall nearby and doesn't do any damage.
Shit. Alright. Is this like a short little wall here?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's about a 4-foot wall.
Alright, I'll just take cover behind that. Hopefully try and avoid the cameras, and I'll try and make my way towards the Vesk.
Yeah, you see that female Vesk lying slumped in this cell as well, with her flaky, very pallid, sickly looking scales falling off.
I'll knock on the outside and just poke my head in and just be like, hello friend, I am an acquaintance of Talmarin. I was sent here to help get you and your friends out. Are you alright? Can you move?
She looks up and a very weak smile spreads across her Vesky face, and she says, "About time." And she's actually able to pull herself to her feet, but she is very clearly exhausted, and with effort stands on her feet and then takes a weak step out of the cage and stumbles a little bit, but gathers herself back up again and just starts slowly walking around the wall toward you.
Be mindful of the cameras for now. We're still working on our escape. We need to find our other friend first.
She clenches a fist and brings it up in front of her, and she says, "I will help you fight." But even in doing so, she coughs and sputters and almost collapses again.
Okay, yes, you're a big fighter. Go to sleep.
Mishka will just kind of give her a solemn nod and hand her one of the healing serums.
Actually, make a medicine check before you hand her a healing serum.
Okay. A 28. Much, much better.
With that 28, the healing serum, it would help, but what would help more is if you could give her some pep of energy or something. She is clearly exhausted.
Oh, I see.
She has bags under her eyes. The fact that her scales are so pale is a sign that in Vesk that means that they are malnourished and dehydrated, and so for her it's less that she's missing HP and more that she just needs some sort of rejuvenation.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, shoot. I don't have anything for that then that I can do about it.
Oh boy. Okay. Alright, so Ukko jumps out, extends wings, Batman style, and then folds him in to drop down with his blade on top of this a little bit. Kia! 21 to hit for 15 slashing damage.
That connects as you come down, bringing your carbon steel blade down onto this robot, and you're able to just drive your blade through its chassis and find some good robo meat underneath.
Oh, I went Samurai Jack on him.
And it sputters, and you see some sparks shoot out of it, but it stays up, and its limbs still seem functional.
Shit.
The red lizard creature sees you come down from the room above, and you lock eyes with it, and then it turns away from you and just starts sprinting after the Azlanti who ran off.
She left the door open?
Oh yeah, the door's open.
Okay, hey, go for it.
And the security robot goes to make an attack of opportunity on the lizard as it runs by, but its balance is off because it's now been split open and misses as the lizard creature runs by. And from down the hall, you hear a shriek of pain. Navessah, from up in the control room, you can't see what's happening, but you do see a splash of red blood coat the wall across from you.
Marvelous. So she's going to send a telepathic message to Ukko. Once you've got things cleaned up down there, please disable the camera. And if I may, I would like to use my move action to get him to robot that he's fighting.
Okay.
All right, and I will hunker down here.
Ukko, this robot that is split in half but somehow still functioning, turns to face you and raises its functioning arm to slam you.
Don't hurt me, I'm a tough boy.
At the last possible second, you are able to wrench your sword free from the chassis of the robot and deflect the blow right before it hits you.
Would I know if I can use the healing serum since the Letrim is dehydrated? Can I open that and pour it on them to help use that as water?
I'll tell you, with that medicine check that you got last time, the amount of liquid in the healing serum is not nearly enough. In fact, I'll tell you, you're gonna need at least like a gallon. You need to like pour a bucket of water on this dude if it's gonna have any effect.
Gotcha. All right. Well, then Mishka will just kind of reach her head in and just be like, we'll come back for you, all right? And is gonna stealth to try and stay out of camera view. Sneaky boy, 24.
Yep, you have watched the pattern of the camera moving back and forth, and you know how to time it, so you very easily can just stealth your way.
All right, then I will go over here just so I can peek my head out to see what the hell is happening outside of this room.
Oh yeah. You peek through that doorway, and you see carnage. Blood, gore, lots of blood on all the walls. Ukko is tangling with a security robot that looks worse for wear, and you see that big caterpillar creature just sort of slumped up in the corner, like halfway out of its cell, just kind of like being big and gross back there.
Gotcha. Well, I think that's all I can do for now. So I will just kind of hide behind the wall here in cover, hopefully not visible to the cameras at the moment, and then I'll just pull out my gun, and if the robot survives, I will shoot it to help Ukko out.
All right.
Woo! Ukko deflects the blow and then brings the blade back down to try and fully slice this robot in twain. Rah! 29, I believe that's a crit.
That's a good slice in twain.
15 plus 15 plus bleed 2.
I don't think robots bleed.
I don't think it matters.
So you yank your sword out of the wedge that you made and deflect its blow, and then in the same motion, just like make another slash across and just sever its little camera face from its body. And it lets another spurt of sparks fly as it collapses to the ground.
And that same movement as he slices its little head mount camera, he'll look up to the camera on the wall and just throw his blade.
Okay, is a full attack. Yeah, go ahead and make your second attack.
Here we go.
Another 20.
Wow!
Another critical hit for 11 plus 15 plus bleed 5.
So total of 26 damage is more than enough. As you throw your sword, it goes end over end and just goes straight through the camera lens and is just stuck in the wall as the camera explodes.
Oh yeah, and then I believe it's a swift action to then just back to my hand.
Yeah, you see the blade just like flicker for a second, and then the next moment it's back in Ukko's hand and the camera just falls off the wall.
Camera in this room's gone.
He says up towards the ladder.
All right, Navessah is going to timidly come out of her hiding place. So yeah, double move. And yeah, I think that's just Navessah's turn getting out here and probably still trying to keep a low profile in case there are any cameras we missed or anything like that.
Navessah, as you run by the caterpillar creature, it squirms and kind of flops out of its cell and tries to cower away from you, tries to get as far away from you as possible, but it doesn't have a lot of room to do that. So it kind of looks past you looking for an escape, and it notices Ukko, and Ukko, you hear it say in very broken Azlanti,
Help. Save.
Is there anyone else in the room? All the Azlanti are down, right?
As far as you can see.
Okay, I will sneak over towards Letrim, and I'll go into the dome and try and help them out. I think most of the Azlanti are down in this area, so let's try and get you out of this prison. Come on, your friends are waiting.
Make a diplomacy check.
Okay. Hey, that's a 23, that's not too bad. Please, I know things look dark for you, and I know my appearance is not helping, but you are the friends Sichik and Mothkala, they're ready to leave. And I think it would be a shame if you stayed behind.
The creature weakly looks up and sees the Sheeran huddled in the corner outside of her cell, and then looks over and sees the Vesk leaning exhausted on the desk. And as it meets the Vesk's eyes, the Vesk gives it a reassuring nod, and then finally the creature lets out a defeated sigh, and he says, "Fine, I will go with you." And it painfully gets up, and as it gets up, you see those cracks on its shell spreading as it cracks even further, and even along the edges, pieces sort of crumble off and fall.
Oh no.
He stands to his full height, is about as tall as you, with sort of a hunched posture and these large eye stalks, and its color is sort of like a reddish tan, and it takes a weak, unbalanced step forward, and as it does so, more flakes of its shell come off, but eventually it does step out of its cell and stands leaning against the short wall next to the Vesk.
I abandon my stealth and try and help them.
Okay, yeah, you help them out and just get them over with everybody else, basically.
Yeah.
Okay. Ukko will psychically say, firstly to Mishka,
This room is cleared of enemies and cameras. It's the worm who needs some help.
and then say to Navessah,
Try to keep your disguise up. I think I'm gonna follow that lizard and see how many we can kill.
and with that, I'm gonna heal with one of the things I took.
So yeah, in the moment of respite, you reach into the Navessah's satchel that you now are carrying and pull out the healing serums.
Woo! Another 3. Now seeing that the room's a little more clear and we're in a better situation, he's like, okay, here, I'll take these, here's your bag back, I'm out. And as Ukko turns to leave, he'll turn to Navessah and
Make sure they get out of here. And don't forget Sedona.
and then just starts booking it after the red lizard with his sword.
So you run down the hallway and you come to a skidding halt as you pass that blood splatter on the wall, and you see the corpse of the female guard lying there and the lizard's red tail lying on the ground. In fact, like half of the lizard's body is on the ground. You can see like its bottom half, the tail, and its hind legs lying on the ground in a pool of dark, dark red blood. And that door is trying to shut, but it can't because its corpse is in the way. And through the door, as it opens each time, you can see another prison guard's corpse and another pool of blood beyond the door. But beyond that, the room beyond looks pretty much empty from what you can see. But you do hear very panicked voices yelling from that room.
Oh.
Navessah, as Ukko turns to run, the large grub creature, now alone with its Azlanti captor, inches back from you even further as much as it can, and it's looking around trying to find like a way past you.
Navessah will kind of turn to the creature. In Azlanti, she'll say, "We are making our escape now. You're welcome to come with us if you want, if you can keep up."
Please make a diplomacy check.
Oh, I can do that. Ooh, Navessah rolls a 13.
Okay.
I'm supposed to be good at this.
Also roll a sense motive.
You keep rolling bad on the things you're supposed to be good at.
Yep. That's another 13 from Navessah. Natural 1, baby.
All right. The big caterpillar creature, as you try to reassure it, just shrinks back from you even further, and it doesn't really seem like what you're saying to it registers. Even though you are speaking in Azlanti and it spoke Azlanti to you, for some reason it does not seem like it is hearing what you're saying.
Well, Navessah is neither a bleeding heart nor is he one of our mission objectives, so.
Right.
The offer was made and she walked away.
Yep. Not a friend, not getting paid. Bye-bye.
Yeah, I guess she'll just keep a safe distance from Ukko here as to not blow her cover, but wanting to kind of keep things moving.
All right. Mishka, you have gathered up all of the prisoners. All of them look very worse for wear, and every single one of them is having trouble moving. What do you do?
Which one is having the most trouble moving?
definitely the Sheeran who's missing a foot.
Okay. Then I will go over there to them and put their arm around my shoulders. Again, I'll message Ukko. Ukko, where are you? I can use your help moving some of these prisoners. They're having trouble moving on their own. Start heading towards the exit, I suppose.
With the Sheeran?
Yeah.
Alright, so if you have her like draped over your arms, your move speed is reduced to 10 feet.
Okay.
Yeah, so the other guys, they definitely are moving a little bit faster, but not much. Mm-hmm. They follow you, looking hopeful and concerned. And as they get a glimpse into the carnage of the room next door, you see a glimmer of hope in the Vesk's eyes, and you see that like willingness to fight redouble inside of her. Mm-hmm. But again, she looks very tired and like she won't actually be very useful in a fight.
Yeah.
And actually they peer through and they see the big caterpillar creature and they say,
You freed Grub as well. Good. He is a gentle one who deserves freedom. He has lived a hard life here.
And they're welcome to come with us.
She looks at you in your Azlanti disguise and says,
I don't think that they will. Perhaps I can talk with them.
Please do.
Ukko will out loud say,
Shit, Red Lizard is dead, and I can see cameras. I see no people, but I hear them.
he just fucking takes off over the wall. 20 feet up, and then like 5 over, and straddle, and yeet sword at camera.
okay, yeah, go for it.
Yeah. 28 to hit for 12 slashing.
You chuck your blade and it glances off of the camera and leaves a noticeable mark, but another second later the camera starts moving again.
Swift action to my blade back.
Navessah, as you come up behind Ukko, as he takes off, clearing the hallway, you also can see now that pool of blood and the lizard's corpse propping the door open.
Okay. And it's like a big bloody mess, like in this area?
Oh yeah, real big bloody mess. 2 human corpses and a big lizard corpse, all very bloody.
Is there any blood over where I am where nobody has eyes on me?
There is a blood splatter on the wall over there, but there's not like a big pool. If you were to take a few steps forward, you'd be close enough to like touch it.
Yeah, I'm just gonna like inch forward and basically just get myself like bloodied, like disguising a little bit, just to try and let like I'm escaping the melee.
Gotcha, okay.
Because as far as I'm concerned, my cover hasn't been blown yet.
Yeah, totally. Do a disguise check. You are gonna have some good bonuses on this.
Sweet. And Navessah rolls a 23.
All right, yeah. You bend down and dip your hand in the Azlanti's blood and just like start smearing it on your uniform and your face and just try to do your best to make yourself look wounded. And yeah.
And I'm going to basically start heading for the door.
You peer through that door as you come up on it, and you also don't see anybody, but you hear panicked voices coming from the northeastern side of that round room ahead of you.
If Ukko is still planning to destroy the camera, then I'll wait till after that to take my turn.
He is actively attacking it, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'll wait till he's done with the camera.
Okay.
So I could fly to it, depending how tall those cells are, and then I have a 10-foot reach. Maybe I could just stand on them.
Yeah, I'll say you can stand on top of the cell and attack it if you want.
Ukko, firstly, is just gonna fly right at it and just...
Okay.
Yeah! Swing! 18 to hit, 14 slashing damage.
Yep, that is enough to finish it off as you hit it in the same spot that you hit it when you threw the blade, and you finish the job cutting through the camera, leaving the back half of it still attached to the wall, but the front half of it falls to the ground.
And then Ukko turns to face everyone down there beneath him.
No more eyes on us for now. But we are gonna have a hard time leaving, probably.
Yes.
I think Navessah's going to find Sedona.
I don't think we should split apart.
Well, we don't really have a choice now. Look at us. And you don't have a lot of time.
He checks at his invisible watch.
I mean, I don't know how we're going to get out without suspicion anyway. I mean, we'll try. But all of you listen, just so I can prove that I'm not Azlanti. This is bloodlock, yes? And Mishka will then put his hand on it to show that he can't control it, and he'll address the worm over there. See, I'm not Azlanti.
All right, make a diplomacy check and a sense motive check.
Diplomacy check 13, sense motive 16.
It watches you use the bloodlock, but does not seem convinced. And as you try to talk to it again, it doesn't seem like whatever you're saying is registering. And then it makes a lot of sense that you would recognize this, Mishka, because you immediately realize that this creature is deaf.
I see. Okay. Then I will pick up Sea Chick again and head into the room.
Okay. Navessah.
She is going to put on her best fake panicked face and run out the door.
Okay. And as you run out of the door, you see two Azlanti guards standing with their guns drawn, pointed in your direction, and they almost fire.
She puts her hands up.
Yep. They realize that you are an Azlanti, and they don't lower their guns entirely, but they take the finger off the trigger and regard you. And the one in front says, "What the hell is going on in there?"
The Dragonkin, he broke free and he somehow got into the control room and let everything out.
Why are you out here? Get back in there and get it under control! Reinforcements are on their way!
They killed everybody. I was coming for backup.
And he looks at the guy behind him, and the guy behind him just like sort of shrugs, and he goes,
All right, fine, stay here with us.
and he like moves aside to make room for you.
Is everything else all right? Was it just those containment units in there that got released?
You would know better than us. We've been out here the whole time until that damn thing came out here and killed Castio. And it looks like he got Elenia as well.
I mean, I don't work here. Does the containment unit release in that control room only affect that chamber?
The two guards sort of look at each other. Make a diplomacy check.
There we go. Navessah rolls a 30.
Nice.
The two guards look at each other like, should we say anything? And then the one towards the center of the room shrugs and he says,
The warden's put a lockdown on the entire prison and called for reinforcements. She's locked herself in the slave quarters until the reinforcements arrive.
And how long till they get here?
Yeah, there you go.
He shrugged and he says, Should be moments from now.
Raggy.
All right, well, then I know what I'm psychically sending next turn.
Okay, so I have one serum of healing and Mishka has one.
I have 2. I'll give you 1 as well. I'll put it in your bag before I throw it over to you.
Thanks, babe. Bonded.
We need to have a clear path out, and there's still people out there. We're running low on time. I'm trying to get us a path, alright? We need to find Sedona. You get them as far as you can. Loot the bodies. Take what you can.
Fine, but don't die on me. You got it?
What? And then takes off. Ukko is just gonna be moving full speed until he's aware of an enemy and then try not to get shot.
yeah, you see Navessah over there pretending to be a guard.
In Azlanti, he's gonna shout out,
We're leaving the prison. Stay out of our way and you might live.
Okay, make an intimidate check.
Ukko rolled a 24 for Intimidate.
All right, we'll see what the outcome of this is later. Mishka?
Do I see any weapons near me? Did this guy drop a gun?
He did drop a pulsecaster pistol.
Alright, I'll pick it up and I'll toss it to Mathkala.
Okay.
What other weapons do I see on the ground? What did this person drop?
As far as weapons go, the guard who was charmed had a couple grenades strapped to his hip, and
hell yes.
he dropped an assault rifle.
Okay. And what about the first guy that was killed?
He also dropped a pulsecaster.
Alright, can I use the full movement to run around and grab all those things?
If you want to do your whole turn just collecting items, then sure.
Alright, yeah, I will do that.
All right, so you get another pulsecaster pistol, and from the guard who was charmed, the one in the green armor, you get what is called an Aeon Guard assault rifle, a frag grenade Mark II, and an incendiary grenade Mark I.
Ooh. I'll offer Mathkala the assault rifle if she wants to use that. I can't use assault rifles still.
She also cannot use the rifle, so she shakes her head as you offer it to her and says, "This will be fine," with the pistol.
Okay. I'll offer Seek Chick and Ledgerm guns.
The Slavara, the crab dude, just sort of looks at you and weakly shakes his head and kind of looks at you with disgust. And the Sheeran also just weakly shakes her head and says, "Too tired."
That's fine, I understand. And I'll just put away the other weapons and I'll address Mothcall as I go ahead and talk to your friend. I don't think they listen to me. It seems that they are deaf, so if you know any sign language, that would be helpful, I think.
Mothcalla the Vesk clambers over the desk and makes her way towards the caterpillar creature in the back of the room and begins speaking very slowly in broken Azlanti. "Safe now. Help us go." And as she starts speaking, you see those tendrils that are coming off of the caterpillar's back sort of reach forward slowly and just places them on the Vesk's face and mouth as the Vesk is speaking. And Mishka, you recognize that that is how the creature is lip reading. And as the Vesk finishes speaking, the caterpillar creature slowly inches forward and makes his way out into the main part of the room, still looking a bit distrustful of you, Mishka. But then it sees the Sheeran and the Slivara, and in Azlanti it says,
On. Go.
and as it says on, those tendrils sort of like move aside to like make room for them to climb onto its back.
Oh, yay!
Hey! Something went right.
So Navessah is still trying to maintain her cover and trying to sell this narrative of PTSD, traumatized by this, dragonkin getting out and killing everybody, is going to fly into a pretend panic at this fellow. And I'm going to attempt a combat maneuver, dirty trick.
Ooh.
With the intention of basically like grabbing him and like panically pointing at Ukko, being like, there he is, kill him,
What
kill
you
him now!
Okay.
Attempting to give him the off-target condition, giving him a -2 to his attack.
Okay.
Oh, smart boy.
Hey! Natural 20 for a total of 22.
All right. Well, that definitely succeeds.
And then with a little psychic wink to Ukko, I'm going to get him, the same guy.
All right.
This is so weird. How did you wink at me in my mind? Did you say wink in my head?
The one behind you, Navessah, he runs forward and fires his pulsecaster pistol at you, Ukko, and you see that electric arc beaming towards you, Ukko, and you duck behind the wall just in time to see it splash off of the corner.
All right, here we go. Just charges in, and we'll firstly go for... I'll go for the get him.
All right, go for the get him.
12 to hit for 16 damage.
13 to hit.
Oh.
13 to hit just meets his AC.
Yes! Get him pays off.
16 slashing damage. You cut a very deep gash that goes from the top of his left shoulder down across his rib cage on the right side, and a lot of blood comes out of it.
I would also like to turn this into a cleave.
Oh, okay. Do it.
Dope. Flowing through that first guy and into the second one. 13 to hit for 19 slashing.
Okay. Yeah, you go from the top left shoulder to the right rib cage of the first guy and then keep slicing downward, and you just straight up get this dude's femoral artery and a jettison, like a stream of blood just comes out of his leg, like Kill Bill style, and he falls to the ground screaming in pain, and then shortly thereafter stops moving.
Yeah! There's just Ukko covered in blood.
All right. Seeing that Grub is offering to carry the rest. Yes, that is a good plan. Excellent. All right. I'm going to go ahead and make sure things are clear and back up my friends. So please follow us. I'm going to move ahead and try and find the others. I will double move.
As you begin running out of the room, you see Mothcalla go back to help the other two, like start getting them onto Grub. And the guy who is Getum, the one who's fighting with Ukko, he was going to pull his pulsecaster, but then you started charging him, so instead he reaches his other hand down to grab his tacklash and tries to whip at you with it, Ukko. And he hits you for 6 damage.
Oh, okay. So I'm at 2 HP.
Okay. He takes a 5-foot step to try to get a little distance from you.
He's silly.
I'm going to get him up on that guy, but since I know that there are lots of cameras on me right now, I'm going to keep selling my narrative here and cower back into this corner, essentially just begging for my life. Please, Mr. Ukko, do not kill me.
Mr. Ukko.
I mean, that's not what she says. It's more of just like, oh God, please, no!
All right, so he's get him still. Ukko, your turn.
From there, I swing at him.
Okay.
18 to hit for 16 slashing.
Yep. He goes to take a step back, and Navessah starts screaming bloody murder, and you do a bloody murder.
Yeah. And then I turn to her.
You're coming with me.
Is gonna make a big old show of grr, I'm grabbing Navessah. Just basically pick her up and force her over to a computer chair.
Okay.
Find Sedona.
Mishka is gonna go up to this computer here and take a gander, see what he can find out.
Make a computers check.
Fucking A, that's a 14 on computers.
Okay. I need Ukko and Mishka to roll fortitude saves, please.
Ukko got a 24.
I got a 9.
Okay. After you start typing, a audible alarm starts blaring out of the computer monitor itself, and then a wave of electricity erupts from the keyboard and mouse, causing you to get shocked and stunned for 1 round.
Oh no.
So anything you're carrying, you drop on the ground, and you become unable to do anything for 1 round. And Ukko, you just take this electricity like it's nothing. It hits you and washes over your scales and then dissipates, and you just shrug it off like the big beefy boy that you are.
That tickles.
All right, Navessah, you are being threatened.
Yes, I am being coerced and forcefully sat down here. So basically, to keep selling this, she'll look very timidly at Ukko, then down at Mishka, seizuring on the floor, and then just like look very like worried at the computer. And I guess she's going to attempt to get some information from the computer under duress.
All right.
Wink.
Go ahead and make your computers check.
All right, Navessah rolls a 24.
You are going to need to use that computer idle for a reroll if you want.
All right, I am going to do just that. Computer idle, go. Nope. We stick with the 24.
That same alarm sounds, but you see that it's saying that another failed attempt will wipe the entire system.
Cool.
I guess I just look to Ukko and give a very worried shrug, like, don't kill me. And she will whisper to Ukko, we need to hurry, there's reinforcements coming.
Get up. Search these bodies. Maybe they have some key or something. Get to it.
And Ukko's gonna pop back another healing serum.
Okay.
And begin moving to search the body I'm practically on top of.
Okay. Go ahead and roll 1d8 for your healing serum.
No whammies.
3.
That's what it's been every single time.
Every single one.
Cool stuff. Meanwhile, Mishka, you are still stunned for this round, and finally it starts to wear off after a few seconds, and you come back feeling like you got pins and needles in your hands and feet and feeling a little worn out. But other than that, you are good to go.
I will do as threatened and begin searching the bodies for anything that could potentially assist us.
So you search this guard in front of you, and you just find some heavy armor that he's wearing, as well as a pulsecaster pistol and a tack lash on his hip. But other than that, he does not have anything special.
I'll keep the camera show going and just turn to Ukko and be like, he has nothing on him. There's nothing there that can help you.
Okay, back to you, Ukko. As time ticks on,
I will search this corpse next to me.
you also don't find anything very exciting, just his armor and weapons, just like the one Navessah searched.
There might not be anything, so you
Back to Navessah.
try again.
Oh god.
Mishka just stands up and just like shakes off the numbness from the paralysis and just walks over to the other computer, looks at Navessah and pulls out the chair, waiting expectantly for her to sit down, and I'm gonna try to aid her and her usage of the computer.
All right, so Mishka, go ahead and roll your computer's check first.
That's an 18.
That will give you a +2 on your computer's check. Navessah?
Oh no! Navessah rolls an 18, +2, so a total of 20, but that's lower than I rolled last time.
Yeah, you hear that error noise again, and this time the monitor just turns itself off.
Navessah curses under her breath and then, like, slowly looks up to Ukko and does her best please don't kill me face.
Darn. Ukko will just chug one more serum of healing as he starts clonking his way towards that door right next to him. If the computers won't do it, muscles totally can.
Go ahead and roll your HP.
Here comes another 3 HP.
No, 2!
No!
Alright guys, I'm sitting pretty.
Alright, yeah, you approach this door, Ukko, and you immediately recognize as you're walking up to it that it is a blood lock.
Mishka will telepathically message to Ukko, should we take care of the cameras in this room? Or do you think that's not worth it?
They have reinforcements coming. I don't think we have time. And it's really only up to Navessah if she wants to keep up that disguise. So,
Fair point.
we gotta boogie for getting Sedona out of here.
Alright, then I'll come over and grab this body, take it over to the blood lock, place his hand on the door.
The door slides open.
Slam it shut! Slam it shut! Slam it shut!
And through the iris door, as iris is open, you see another hallway just like the one that you just came from. And this hallway is also full of Azlanti soldiers. And in the back, you can kind of see an important looking Azlanti woman standing behind her trio of guards. And she meets your eyes as she says,
Who are you, and what exactly do you think you're doing here?